up.
So we can see the comments.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it up now.
Did you link it to Facebook?
Yeah.
There we go.
We're on both.
Lovely stuff. I don't know what's froze.
It hasn't, it's slightly behind, isn't it?
Alright, okay.
Right, I'll give it a minute.
Is that a viewer already?
Yeah, we've already got one. This is the worst bit, this.
Up to 2 viewers. Bloody hell.
Rolling in.
Give it a couple of minutes, guys, and we'll be we'll get the
Well,
ball
4
rolling.
now, 4 viewers.
Ready when you are, mate.
I've got a comment. Thomas Jane, afternoon, boys.
Afternoon, Tom. How are we?
Alright.
Who have you Oval got this weekend?
Right, I'll tell you what, do you want to get started now?
Yeah, right. Hello, Jack. How are we? Right. So, welcome back in our usual spot of 5 PM on a Friday after last week's. We had to rejig the show last week, so got a lot to get through today. We're going to be looking at European action. Woking away, tough fixture that is, Tom. Tough fixture. Then we got European reaction. Premier League with news of a certain managerial departure today. Looking and doing our predictions as normal. Dipping into the EFL and then looking north of the border where Rangers have finally ended their wait to get a Scottish title. So should we get into it?
Get straight into it.
Right, and of course, if you do have any questions for us, drop them in the comments. We're more than happy to listen.
We always love to answer them anyway, so get as many in as you can.
Right, so we'll start off with Liverpool safely through.
Yeah, and like I say, making it easy for themselves as well. I mean, Leipzig really not putting up much of a fight, but probably shows that they're not out of it yet. They've still got a chance. The season isn't all over. You know what Liverpool are like in Europe. Who knows? But no, I don't think it's really much to say.
Someone needs to shut them blinds, mate.
Yeah.
We're just going to shut the blinds.
Get that shut.
I think. Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better, that.
Right.
Liverpool.
Really not impressed with Leipzig, by the way.
No, disappointing as well, really. You know, the way that they obviously knocked United out of Champions League. So, disappointing show from them, but really strong performance from Liverpool, really. And like I say, showing that even with all the injuries that they've got, that they're still in with a fighting chance in the Champions League.
Upamecano I just don't get the hype.
I think he's one of them. He's a classic defender, but some of his passing
seems to me like he just seems to me like a bit of a FIFA player, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think
he's good on FIFA, so he must be good in real life. I'm yet to see anything to back that statement up.
I think I've only watched him
because even when they knocked Man United out, I still thought they looked shaky.
Yeah, I mean, I watched him twice in the league, and he did look a lot better in the league. But I mean, I think I watched him against Mainz or something like that. So I mean, it's not much of a showing, is it? But no, it wasn't really impressive performance from him, and like I say, Leipzig disappointing to say the least.
I think you've got a question that's aimed at you.
We'll talk about this before we move on to the rest of the European games. So if anyone didn't watch last week, I did predict a 4-0 City win, which I did say will probably everything I predict goes the other way, doesn't it? So I mean, the less said about it, the better. We'll leave it as everyone makes mistakes, as Hannah Montana once said.
What a show, by the way.
I know.
Right, back into Europe, we'll go Juventus-Porto. What a game. And Juventus are out.
Yeah, and do you know what? I've got a soft spot for Porto because of a certain man, Moussa Marega. And do you know what? It's so impressive. They won the first leg, and I think everyone said, Ronaldo's time to shine. He's going to carry Juventus into the next round. But Sergio Oliveira, I mean, they're down to 10 men. I mean, have you seen the free kick? The thing is, it's a question on the goalkeeping, but to hit it from there...
Was it goal?
No, Chesney.
Right.
Disappointed, gets handed, but I think it was Ronaldo, the man who jumps in the wall, goes under him, And you know, like I say, brilliant result for Porto. And do you know what? Probably the outsiders. I mean, they've done it before. Why can't they do it again?
I think when you look at a Juventus perspective, surely Pirlo's got to be getting the sack.
Well, yeah. I mean, in the league,
Third in the league.
I mean, who was the last
10 points behind Inter Milan.
Who was the last team to win it other than
Napoli,
Juventus? Was it Napoli?
I think it was
That was years ago. I mean, it's nice.
Out of the Champions League, you know, surely Pirlo's got to be, you know, surely facing. They've sacked managers for much less, Juventus.
Yeah, but then I guess there's a bit more of you know, with Pirlo, the links that he has to the club.
Yeah.
That's probably what's keeping him in the job. But now I think you can say how poor Juventus was, but Porto.
Fair play to Porto.
Yeah.
We've got a question here. Prediction for the Villa versus Newcastle get right. Give us 5-10 minutes. We're going to get onto our predictions as we do every week. So we will answer that question, just not yet. Barcelona also out, so Ronaldo or Messi won't be lifting the Champions League this year. PSG, you know, going down to that. Did they go 1-0 down?
No,
they went 1-0 up. Sorry.
And then Messi
saved the penalty. That was it.
I mean the Messi goal. I mean, Mike. I personally, the thing is, I think I said this on Twitter. He can score, you know, 25, 30 yards out, score an absolute worldie like that. Yet he struggles so much from the penalty spot. Really, when you look at his penalty record, I mean, it probably is still good. I mean, when you're Messi, you know, you are going to get a lot of criticism for stuff like that. But his penalty record, I don't think is brilliant, and I just find it baffling. You know, he can put him in the top left corner week in, week out, but then, you know, struggles from 12 yards out. But now, PSG really capitalised. I mean, Barcelona have just been so poor this season, and I still think we're second in the league.
Yeah.
But no, I think the thing is PSG. You know, that every year everyone says, "Oh, you know, they're going to win it this year. This is their year."
Speaking of which, who do you fancy for the Champions League?
I said Bayern. Personally, I think that they're just. I just think they've got the best squad.
I've made a bold prediction for the Champions League. Look, I think Chelsea are going to really make a run at it. 12-1. I found on William Hill for Chelsea to win the Champions League, and I put my money on that. I put a fiver on it. I just think Chelsea are going to make a run at it. I really do. I think they do look really good under Tuchel. Whether this continues, that could sound like an absolutely embarrassing statement, but come the end of the season. But I just got a feeling.
Personally, I think Atletico have got at Stamford Bridge into it. I mean, the thing
I
is,
think Chelsea will get through.
I think if Atletico get an early goal, you know, they're just going to sit back and soak in the pressure. If they get one on the counter attack and get that second, then
I don't think Atletico look like scoring in the first leg.
No, but I mean, well, we'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I'm actually really looking forward to watching that.
I think if it's anything like the first leg, I don't think it'll be anything to shout about. But we'll see.
But Chelsea 12-1, get on it. That's my tip.
Can we move on to the proper European competition?
The Europa League.
Yeah.
So last night I watched the game with you, and I think you were pulling your hair out after a certain Spanish midfielder at 1-1. But full credit to Arsenal, you dug deep, and you probably 1 foot in the next round now.
You know, so I mean, they've obviously got to come to the Emirates and score 3.
They've done it before.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I can't say it is all but over, but we'll see. The thing is, you know, they were so poor. I mean, David Luiz gifted them the chance. I can't remember who it was. One of the worst efforts I've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, he's tried to curl it and he's only put it out for a throw-in. And I thought that was probably the sign. Well, maybe this isn't working. Maybe we need to get it gone. They persist with it. It happens again. We concede from it. That man El Arabi again. I have nightmares about him. And luckily, in the end, you know, Willian steps up. The assist for Gabriel, cracking header, and good to get the third because it is a bit of a relief. You know, 3 away goals against any European team is just a bit of weight off the shoulders for next week. Might be able to enjoy it a bit more.
I'll tell you what, everyone's raving about him, and then he's got what a header from Gabriel though.
Yeah, and
I could watch that. That is such a satisfying goal to watch. It was unbelievable. He weren't even in line with the ball, if that makes sense. He kind of had to leap.
He's give the keeper no chance.
Yeah, it's a brilliant header. And then of course El Neni, stunning strike.
Only scores worldies.
And we forgot Erdegaard, beautiful goal as well.
Yeah,
and you were actually calling Erdegaard every name under the sun before that.
Well, do you know what? Because I have praised him this season, and I'll stick by that. But he was having a poor game. You know, he nearly gifted them a chance early on. But made up for it with that strike because it was something out of nothing. That brilliant strike. Keeper should be doing better, but they won't complain.
Tottenham, I think last night, if anything, if you need telling how good Harry Kane is, then go and watch that game last night.
Yeah, no, he's a fantastic striker and arguably the best in the world, and showed it last night. And to be honest with you, I know we'll come on to it later, but I know he come off injured, but it is looking like it's typical Mourinho, and he will be playing on Sunday. And if he plays like that, it will be embarrassing because he was the difference last night, and a good win for Spurs.
I think that's Tottenham, as they've not conceded an away goal, a nice and healthy advantage.
Yeah.
Zagreb is usually probably not the nicest place to go to in normal circumstances, but with no fans, you'd probably say Tottenham as good as 3 now.
Well, I mean, and I hate to praise him, but yeah, personally, yeah.
A little North London derby in the next round, would you fancy that?
No, I'd fancy him in final. I'd enjoy that. Not over 2 legs though.
Man United. I mean,
God.
I don't know how to say fatal goal to concede right at the end. Well, not right at the end, but towards the end. But well,
it was 91st minute, wasn't it? I think the thing is, Dino did not get a cleano.
Dino did not get a cleano.
But no, it is. I mean, that Harry Maguire miss. He will never want to see that again. I mean, it's painful.
AC Milan's disallowed goal as well.
Yeah, it's. The thing is, I think too many people wrote AC Milan off at the start. I mean, I've seen on bookies they were 5-1. I thought, well, it's not bad odds for them. They're not a bad side, and really getting the away goal. I still think United will go through personally, but it's given them something to worry about.
Score.
Yeah, well, exactly. Oh, of course, yeah, the away goal, yeah. Yeah, not an easy place to go to either at San Siro, is it? So, who knows? But no, I still think, they'll be disappointed with that. But
right, and Rangers, I think, an away goal as well, vital for them.
Yeah.
They looked like they were under the cosh a little bit last night, maybe a little bit hungover from their little title party, which we'll come on to later, but we just got to say, what a save from Alan McGregor right at the end.
I mean, the fact that he's held it as well makes it even better. You
could watch that
and
all over.
Nearly 40 years old.
39, I think he's 40 later this year.
I can't move like that and I'm 20. I'm half his age and I'll never get down to that. So
I can't believe that when he was down here, Alan McGregor never made a decent career, because I think he's such a good goalkeeper.
Yeah, well, like you say,
was it Hull? He was
Hull, yeah. In fact, did he play in the 2014 FA Cup final?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember, but anyway, he's, like you say, probably perfectly suited for Rangers. They love him there.
Yeah.
He obviously loves it there. It's his club. I mean, if he's still pulling off saves like that at 39, he's probably got a couple more years in him, yeah.
So yeah, that's you'd probably say Arsenal, Spurs as good as through, and United and Rangers, 50-50.
All to play for, yeah. But
so
obviously Rangers got the away goal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Got a couple of questions here. Like that prediction, Alex, Andy Hall. No problem, Andy. Great assist from Xhaka and Leno in the past 7 days, Andy Hall.
Yeah, we'll not talk about that. From Leno, I'm guessing that's all about the Ceballos one.
Yeah.
But we'll leave that one.
Did you enjoy the last All-London Europa League final, Alfie?
I'll still stick by it. I haven't watched the replay of it, and I don't remember anything past. The last thing I remember was Iwobi's goal, and I haven't brought myself to watch the replay. So I can't say I did enjoy it now.
Thoughts on who will win the Women's Champions League? Okay. We got asked this question in the Q&A, and I'm just going to guess. Do you know what? I'm going to go for a West London double and just say Chelsea, because their manager's meant to be quite sought after.
I said Leon, just because I looked on the other day and they were about 1 to 1 million to win the game when they were 1-0 up, so they must be good.
I must apologise, we are a little bit ignorant to women's football on nothing but football, but maybe we need to educate ourselves a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll give it a we'll give it a watch this week.
We'll watch Karen Kearney's highlights.
No, we will.
Right, Premier League. Before we get into the predictions, managerial departure. Chris Wilder has left Sheffield United. I think it's actually off his own back.
Yeah.
But I think that's because of how he's been treated by the board. What would you say?
Well, like what from what I've read, obviously it's fresh news. It looks like it was something to do with the board not backing him in January. They wanted
defensive director of football as well.
Yeah, something like that. But to be honest with you, I think it's the worst news. And I mean, when we spoke to the Sheffield United fans, they seem to agree. It's probably the worst thing for him. I thought if there was any man to bring him back down, I mean, look what Sean Dyche from Burnley. He went down with him. He brought him back up. I thought that Chris Wilder was the man to do that with him. But the thing is, he obviously felt that he couldn't take him any further, or he'd have stayed, 'cause it's his boyhood club. He loves that club.
I just think he's probably a bit annoyed at the lack of control he's been given, considering he's taking them from League One. And Sheffield United in League One, they were rotting.
They were bottom, I believe, weren't he, after 5 games?
They were rotting in League One. They've been in League One for about 6 or 7 years, and no one could get them. They had Nigel Atkins, Nigel Clough. No one could get them out of there. He finally took them out, and he got them up to the top of the Championship. And then they've tailed off the first season. Then next season they got the automatic promotion with a certain friend of the show.
Yeah.
Friend of the show in the defence.
Watch that if you haven't watched it already. Martin Craney
got up to the Premier League and got them punching way above their weight. I think if the downfall of Chris Wilder might have been the summer transfer window just gone.
And we said this, didn't we, in an earlier video? It was absolutely atrocious, that business. I think the Rhian Brewster deal was arguably the worst of the summer in terms of pound for pound.
Ramsdale as well. They spent how much on him? And I don't really.
I think Ramsdale's improved recently from what I've seen. But for how much they paid, I mean, did he go to Bournemouth on a free from Sheffield United as well? And then they bought him for 20 million back. But the thing is, it's probably a lesson learned for him.
The thing is for me now, Sheffield United have to get. They're going to go down now.
Oh, 100%.
Sheffield United have to get this appointment spot on, because I think they'll struggle in the Championship next season if they don't. Look, them players, I think they'll keep the bulk of the squad. Personally.
Yeah. Well,
I think players like O'Connell, Egan. I think they'll stick around. But then players ran through walls for Chris Wilder. Like, they loved him. They adored him. Will they do the same for another manager?
That's why I personally think that they're going to get picked off, and a lot of players are going to leave.
I think they had a bad transfer window. That's all. But I think Chris Wilder earned the right to have one bad transfer window. He's probably his only bad transfer window as Sheffield United manager. And I think he earned the right to at least have what he wanted to try and get them back next season. If he doesn't get them back next season, then maybe you part ways. But I just think he earned the right. We got some reaction as well.
Yeah.
Nathan, who is a Sheffield United fan, he said, "Heartbroken doesn't even cut it. Struggled to put the words together about this. Frustrated, upset, angry and confused. I'm worried about where the club goes from here." And then on Twitter...
We had one on Twitter, actually. That was a good one.
What's his name? I'm not logged into the Twitter on my iPad.
Right, let me get it up now. You get the other one up.
So, and then we got some output away from Sheffield United as well. Tom, who's actually a Yeovil fan, but he did wade in on a debate. He said Wilder's done a top job at Sheffield United, particularly during their first season in the Premier League. The timing seems a bit odd with them already down. Surely he'd be their best shout in returning to the Premier League next season. I think this is obvious to say that people are confused and don't understand why Sheffield United have allowed this to happen.
Well, 100%. And then Darryl Ball on Twitter said, absolute nonsense. LMA manager, LMA runner-up, directors trashing the club. And like I say, from what we...
Well, they had a little bit of a rift in the boardroom, Sheffield United, didn't they? I think it was McCabe, who was the local man who owned them, and then he got into the power struggle with the Saudis, didn't they? And the Saudis took full control, and they look like they want to go in a different direction, but...
Well, that's the thing.
We had one more reaction. Rory Thompson, he said, "Only one man for the job now," and he inserted a gif of Neil Warnock. Do you know what?
Timing, really.
Do you know what? It makes sense.
I don't think
No. With Neil Warnock being a Sheffield United fan, and he if he wasn't at Middlesbrough, he obviously enjoys being at Middlesbrough, and if he hadn't signed a deal to stay for next season,
there's zero chance.
I don't think he'll jump ship, but I think
he wouldn't.
In another universe, that might have.
If he hadn't signed the 1 year deal, I believe it would have happened. But he's just signed a 1 year deal with Borough. He obviously thinks that he can get them up.
Yeah.
I think there's zero chance of it happening.
Right, so let's go to the predictions.
So we have got a couple of questions. Do you reckon Neil Warnock will come back?
We just
answered it. And who is the best English manager in the Premier League?
Good question. You got to say Dyche. You've got to say Dyche.
Well, I think Dyche But I think up and coming, I think Graham Potter, someone would be stupid not to take him. I know the thing is, expected goals.
Dyche is. Please don't talk to me about expected goals because it's a load of rubbish.
I know. I personally think, it is what Graham Potter's done at Brighton. I think the only thing that he likes is a striker. But I mean, it's a debate. But
I think the proof is in the pudding that Sean Dyche is the better manager.
I just
you look at what he's achieved on no budget. I think.
I just think that Graham Potter could go to a bigger club. I don't see Dyche really progressing further than Burnley.
I tend to disagree. I think Dyche should slot in at a Crystal Palace, at a West Ham really well.
But I don't know. I just feel like Graham Potter, if he had the right team, I think. Well, I've seen what he did at Ostersunds, and I just think he's a top manager really. Right. Young as well.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree.
We've got another one saying, Alex did say he's purposely missed on Saturday against Villa to cost my 80-1 bet. The answer is yes.
No, this is funny because Harry actually had 1-0 to Wolves and Romain Saiss to score, and he obviously went and missed that sitter. And wow,
I think the less said
that's just betting for you.
Yeah.
Right, so let's get into Premier League predictions now, and there is a game tonight at St James's Park, just up the road from us. Newcastle United versus Aston Villa. In response to James's question, how do I see this game going? My answer to that is I really don't see it being very easy on the eye. No Jack Grealish. Well, Dean Smith has said there's no Jack Grealish. I don't know whether that's mind games, but
I think no Grealish, ball draw. That's all I see.
Yeah, no Grealish for Villa, and Matty Cash is back, which is big for Villa.
Yeah,
but no Wilson, Saint-Maximin, Almiron on for Newcastle. It's not going to be one for the football purists, shall we say? I think it will be a 1-1 draw personally.
Yeah, I was going to say 1-1. I can't say that. So
are you taking a note of these, by the way?
Yeah, I will do. I want to go 0-0.
0-0?
0-0, yeah. I can't see it being a game to remember.
I think Newcastle to take the lead and Villa will equalise. But there we go. Then we got a game at Ellen Road tomorrow, 12:30 kickoff. Leeds versus Chelsea. Good game, I think.
Hopefully,
Chelsea's good run of form to continue. Do you think?
Well, I don't know. The thing is, I like predicting a bit of an underdog one. Obviously, Chelsea having, I think it's 3-0 in the previous fixture, but I don't know. I think that Leeds will. What are you looking at? No, I think that Leeds will. I think they've got a point to prove, and do you know what? I can see them getting a result here. Whether I think they're going to beat them, I'm not sure. Tuchel's got to lose at some point.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I want to back it against Leeds. I'm going to go 2-1 to Leeds. You got to be bold, yeah.
I'm going to go 3-1 to Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean the thing is that he's got to lose at some point. I
just can't see this being a game for Leeds, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I just. I don't know.
Jack says, do you think Gareth Ainsworth looks like Bobby Sands? Well, he does a little bit, but I don't know. He looks a bit more like.
Is he there? It is who I thought it was. God, they got the hair. What you got next? Yes or no?
Oh, that's his. That's
yeah.
I think Gareth Ainsworth looks more like someone you'd see down at a pub watching like a small time indie band, if that makes sense.
I think he looks like he'd be in the indie band, to be honest.
I like Gareth Ainsworth.
Yeah, I thought he's. I remember watching an interview with him on I think it's on Soccer AM, and he does come across quite well.
Yeah.
He loves his motorbikes. He's into his music.
He loves his leather jackets. He probably loves his rock music as well, to be fair to him.
Yeah, so. No, he seems like a decent bloke, and he's a good manager, really. What he's done with Wickham, so.
But he does look a little bit like Bobby Sands, I suppose. Right. Crystal Palace versus West Bromwich Albion. Again, a bit like Newcastle versus Villa. I really can't see the football purists looking forward to this one. We keep saying West Brom need to win, and I'm going to say it again, really, because they do. West Brom do need to win.
Well, of course they do. I mean, when you're down there, they've got to win. Basically every game is a must win for them.
Palace, good as safe, but they took a bit of a tonking off Spurs at the weekend. A bit of an opportunity for West Brom to kick them while they're down. But I think Palace will have enough this game.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. I don't think that West Brom are going to get a result. Personally, I can only see it going one way. I'm going 2-1 to Palace.
I'll go 1-0 to Palace.
I can't see it being a high scoring game.
No.
Really.
Everton versus Burnley. Well, what can you say about this one, really?
Do you know what? I think it's one of them games that, Everton, if they want to get top 4, it is one of them. It's a must win, but it is the sort of game that Everton will turn up to and drop points. And I think Burnley, off the back of the 1-1 draw, which, I mean, did you watch it?
You gifted them that.
Gifted. I think that is the perfect word for it. And I think Chris Wood will never have an easier goal than that. But they did, at spells they did play well, and I can't back the underdog every time, but it is one of them games that I can just see Everton. You think of all the results they've had this season. I mean, the one at Anfield being a big one. Maybe they've turned a corner, but I think it's the sort of game they're going to drop points in. And I think Burnley. I'm going to go 1-1. I think they're going to nick a point.
I'll go 2-0 to Everton. I just think Everton will have too much for Burnley.
Yeah, I think it's just one of them.
They've won on Merseyside already this season.
Exactly.
You never know, but I don't know. I just can't see Everton losing this game. But we'll see. A bit of a resurgent Fulham. Playing some lovely stuff. They've got themselves within a hair's length of safety. Newcastle and Brighton, but Manchester City, I think this is going to be a bit of a bridge too far for them.
Yeah,
we haven't even spoken about Fulham's win at Anfield as well.
No, well, the thing is, we said, didn't we? Well, they're probably 6 points dropped from big, massive win at Anfield. So they'll be full of confidence. City off the back of the loss against United. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for City. I don't think Fulham are going to bend over backwards for him and let him put 3 or 4 past him. I think that City are going to be too much for Fulham. But I do think that Scott Parker's men are going to be full of fight. They've really, the past few weeks, everything's gone really well for them. It's gone the right way. Brighton, and especially Brighton's game against Leicester, dropping points from a winning position, probably a massive confidence booster for him. I'm going to go 2-1 to City. I don't think that it's going to be a battering, but I do like to say I think City are too much for him.
I'll go 2-0.
Yeah.
Do you think Fulham will stay up?
I don't know. I don't think anyone can call it. They've got if they carry on playing the way they are, then of course they've got enough to stay up. But
Alex, are you wearing a what?
Alex, are you wearing a? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is. What is it?
I'm going to Google it first. Don't say it.
Right. Okay.
No, anyway, Fulham, when they stay up. Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I just think that City are too much for him this weekend. But in terms of will they stay up, I don't know. It depends. If Brighton can start getting results for how they're playing, then I think they'll start to take off. But who knows? They've probably got the best form at the bottom of the table.
It is between Brighton, Newcastle, and Fulham for that last spot.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't see. Fulham going and winning at Anfield last week. I don't see Newcastle being able to do that, if that makes sense. I don't know. I just think that's why I think Fulham might stay up. I think they're not a better team than Newcastle because the table suggests otherwise, but they are, if that makes sense.
I don't know. I don't think you can. I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't think that they get too many draws. You don't stay up getting draws, and I think that's the problem with them. They look like they struggle to score. I mean, sometimes I watch Fulham and I think defensively they look alright, but going forward I don't see anything for them, and I think that's what will let them down.
Thoughts on? You're not going to catch us out. It's not going to happen. You can keep trying, but we will not fall for it. We're very well switched on. It's not happening. So, have we given predictions for Fulham and City?
Yeah, we've done it.
Right, Southampton, Brighton. You know what? Every week we say how the Brighton keep doing it, and Leicester last week. It's just ridiculous now. And Southampton, who are on a torrid run of form, someone's got to change their fortunes today, tomorrow, haven't they?
Yeah, I think that I mean, I think I back a Brighton win every week. I think it's one of them ones that, you know, Brighton win it. I do think that's going to push them on. And I think it's a perfect. Newcastle got Villa, not an easy game. Fulham got City, not an easy game. Southampton not in the best of form. Brighton, you know, it's a perfect opportunity for them, you know, to sort of get a step away. I think that the advantage that Brighton and Newcastle have is they've got the game in hand on Fulham, which I think is massive, especially at the bottom of the table. But now I think that I'm going to go for a draw. I can't see.
Yeah, it's just one of them games.
I can't keep backing Brighton.
It's one of these games where the two teams just come. They're not both on, you know, going for a bad patch. They're both coming against each other, and neither of them are going. I think it'll be 1-1.
That's what I'd said. I'm going to change it then. Now I'll go. Do you know what? I'll go 2-2.
Right. Okay.
I think I'll go a bit of an interesting one.
Brighton finally going to show that they're XG.
Yeah.
So we've got Leicester versus managerless Sheffield United now. Vardy loves a goal against the Blades, doesn't he? Do you think he's going to keep up that record?
Yeah, I think that Leicester they're going to be way too much for him. I think they have looked. I mean, Brighton, I didn't think they looked brilliant against us. Like they didn't look brilliant. They've got their injury problems, but I'd like to say I think they're going to be too much for Sheffield United. Especially, you know, they've just lost Chris Wilder. I can't imagine that the morale in the camp is going to be high. I'm going to say that Leicester, you know, stick 3 past them, but I do think Sheffield United are going to get one. I'm going to say 3-1 to Leicester.
Yeah, I'm just going to say 2-0 to Leicester, I think.
I think the too much for them, I think. Especially given what's gone on today. I can't imagine that's going to help them at all. And like you say, too much for them.
Now, here's the interesting one.
God.
Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur. I'll let you talk us through it.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I'm not confident at all because I know what's going to happen is it's going to be another. I mean, it's going to be the same story as recent weeks. It's going to be another mistake that lets us down, and especially after the way that Kane played on Thursday, I think the whole coming off injured was just a mind game by Mourinho, and you know how well he plays, and he said that he probably will be playing. He will be playing, and if he plays anything like Thursday, they're going to beat us, and I'm not confident at all with that. I think the way that the passing out from the back has been going recently, it has looked an improvement from earlier in the season as results have shown, but
it couldn't really get any worse.
No, but we've shown like against Burnley and against Olympiacos that, you know, there's still mistakes there, and I think, you know, you make them mistakes, especially the few that we made against Olympiacos. Son and Kane aren't going to make the mistakes that them sort of teams are going to make, and I think if we continue to make them, they're going to get a result. But can I predict
You're
Spurs
not going to
win?
predict the Spurs
I
win.
can't, and I can't. But I can't be that deluded to say we'll beat them because I don't think we will. I think it's going to be a draw, and I'm going to go for an exciting one because, in all fairness, probably from a neutral point of view, they are an exciting game.
The North London derbies are always really good, I think.
Yeah,
and I do like sitting down. And Sam, if you are watching, what's your score prediction as well?
I've said 2-2. I think they do.
It
is a common scoreline 2-2.
Do you know what? Then I'm gonna go one better. I'm gonna say 3-3.
3-3. All I can wish for is another 5-2.
I've just predicted the Mourinho team to score 3 goals.
Well, they've done it a few times this season, haven't they?
No, do you know what? I'll stick with 3-3.
Yeah.
Take my first answer. No, but I know that.
I'll be nervous. Let's just say that I'll need a few.
Unless it's a draw, I know that one of me best mates is gonna be very hacked off either way. So,
well, in all fairness, I think personally, it's never nice losing Spurs. In fact, it is awful. But I think I probably, after last night's result, it probably means a lot more to us for the season than beating Spurs. You don't get a trophy for that, whereas, you know.
So yeah, Sam, if you are watching, we want to hear your score prediction as well. Usual question. We'll
move on to it because we are going to talk about the EFL. So we'll
no, there's no EFL games in it, I don't think.
Oh, is there not? What
no.
is it, Prem?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
What have you clicked on here?
No, I was just refreshing the
Will the Soccer Saturday boost land this week? Usual question from Mr. Thompson here.
I don't know who it is.
Let me get it up.
While we're doing that, should we talk about Man United?
Yeah, we'll come to the boost at the end actually.
Yeah.
Man United, West Ham. David Moyes back at Old Trafford.
I think, if I remember rightly, the last game, West Ham played really well. I think Pogba I think he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I think we talk. I mean, we praise West Ham week in, week out, don't we? I mean, it's hard not to. But the thing is, I do think, United this season have probably been renowned for getting results when they haven't played their best. So, I think that United will probably want a point to prove after Thursday night.
Too much from I'll go 2-0 United.
I'm going to say 3-1. Especially, I'm not even touching.
So I'm backing Dino to get the clean-out here.
I'm not. I'm not touching United to get battered ever again after the other day because it is embarrassing.
Final game, Wolves versus Liverpool. I think Wolves, they'll just be pondering in mid-table now, and Liverpool looking to get back on track. And I every time I say Liverpool are going to get back on track this weekend, and they never do. But
probably the perfect opportunity.
I do think they'll get back on track. Though. That's the thing. I think they're gonna win 1-0 here.
Yeah, and they've been a lot better on the road than they have been.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows what they've been like at Anfield this year. It's obviously well documented. I think that. We watched that game, Wolves versus City, and when they got that equaliser, I mean, undeserved, personally. I mean, so I think I'm going to stick with. I think I'm going to back Liverpool to get a couple here, especially after Wednesday night's result. I'm going to go. I can't keep backing 3-1. I think I've said 3-1 about 4 times now. What have you said? 1-0.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-0. Keep it simple.
Okay. So in answer to Rory's question, will the Soccer Saturday boost land? On the boost, we've got...
Go on.
Crystal Palace.
You know my answer's no.
Yeah, your answer's always
no. Always no.
Well, we'll see, because they're all Premier League games.
Right, go on then.
So, Crystal Palace.
To win, yeah.
Yeah. Manchester City.
Yeah.
And Everton.
So no, it's not going to land. There you go. Everton are on the boost. It proved my point even more. They're going to drop points.
Right.
Well, you've got to say yes because you've backed them all.
You just made me think.
There you go. Look, I'm a genius.
You get 16-1 if you back Burnley to win, and 12-1 if you back the draw.
I'll tell you what, I might back that 12-1 for once. Back the boost for the first time in my life. But we have got a couple more questions before we move on to.
Are they serious questions?
Now we are nearly. Oh my god. Now we are nearly the end of the season. Which two teams have underperformed and overperformed the most?
Right.
That's actually a good question.
Underperformed, you've got to say...
Probably Sheffield United. Or Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
I think the obvious answer is Liverpool.
Liverpool, Sheffield United, Newcastle, because they did cement in mid-table last season. Newcastle, and after a certain point, never looked like they were going to go down, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And now they're in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
And could you say Leeds have overachieved?
I don't know. I think if you look at the media, they haven't overachieved. But
but realistically,
But then I think personally, Man United.
Villa, Villa fan was asked this question as well.
Villa. Yeah.
It probably blocked my head off for saying they've overachieved.
West Ham.
I said West Ham.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I'll go next.
Villa have overachieved.
Yeah, they have. Well, of course they have. Yeah, I think, and earlier in the season it would have been Southampton, but obviously the run that they've been on is obviously been abysmal for them, hasn't it?
So our overachievers are Villa, West Ham, and then our underachievers Newcastle, Liverpool,
and Sheffield
United. Yeah.
Right, we've got one here. Do you think United play better with Anthony Taylor playing for him? Yes, that's the quick answer for that one. Andy All. That's a quick answer to that one. Right, next one. Thoughts on Brighton being 5th in the expected points league table? I mean, you've said enough. What you think?
I
of XG?
hate XG. It's a load of absolute bollocks.
Rubbish. No, I think
it shows that it means nothing. It just shows that strikers aren't very good.
Yeah. We'll swiftly move on.
Should I have garlic bread with my chilli this evening?
Yes.
Yes.
You can't have chilli without garlic bread.
Are you an idiot? What a stupid question. But do you know what? We do like that question because at NBF we don't just offer football opinions, we like to offer life advice as well.
And we've got
So have garlic bread with your chilli.
We've got one here from Jackie Lambert. What do you think to Sheffield United parting company with Christmas? She's obviously not been watching.
You're about 20 minutes late, Jackie.
Mum, I'm disappointed because I thought you were a true fan, but obviously... Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
The egg?
Someone needs to deactivate me on Facebook.
It's got to be the egg.
I'm going to ban her off the page.
It's the egg. Because the chicken comes out the egg, doesn't it? Well, but then you could say...
I don't know.
But then you could say the chicken laid the egg in the first place.
I'm going to say the egg. The egg.
But the egg originally comes from the chicken, so the egg was there before that particular...
It blows me mind because I just think, how does it go on forever, or is there a point where the chicken was made, or...
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Friday. I need a beer before I think about that.
Right, let's dip into the EFL now. We've got 20 minutes, let's blitz through this. We've got to start off. I'm sure a load of our housemates will be foaming at the mouth for us to talk about this.
Yeah.
Swansea versus Middlesbrough.
God. I mean, just when we thought we'd heard enough of it, we turn up to our lecture on Thursday, we have to write a match report for it. So, yeah. And the thing is, I think it's one of them ones, if that happened to your team, it's
be absolutely
atrocious.
Livid. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, did you watch Neil Warnock's interview?
Yeah.
Absolutely gold.
He does
classic Warnock.
He never fails when it comes to referees. And should we just ignore that question completely? Speaking of dinosaurs, Neil Warnock.
Oh, that's a bit harsh.
No, Swansea Borough. I think the disallowed goal, I mean, Mark Bowler doesn't score many.
No.
So when he scores one of that
They scored a worldie at Reading the other week as well, didn't they?
I mean, it's a cracking finish again against Swansea. And do you know what? It was nothing more than Borough deserved because they were the better team.
Yeah. Obviously, I was watching the commentary game, so I didn't...
I've only watched the highlights.
I've seen the highlights, and I think, Jesus, that is...
I mean, the penalty, personally, I look at the penalty in the 96th minute and I think, if that wasn't given against I would be annoyed. But if it was given against my team, I'd be annoyed also. But I think the frustrating thing about it is he's pointed for the corner and then given the penalty. But he said that he's made the decision, not his lino. He was in a better position than the lino anyway. He's clueless. Gavin Ward.
It is one of them though, where they happen. You get one of them once a season, don't you?
Do you know what though? I think switch it on a different point of view. VAR, from sort of our point of view, not being in there, it gives you a talking point. The only thing the thing is, and again, VAR gives you enough talking points, doesn't it? I don't know. I think it's one of them ones. It's. I mean, would VAR even change that? Really, with the way that it's been implemented in the season, I don't know.
You get one of these games a season. You usually get one in your favour that goes, and you think, oh, I've got away one there, and then you get one against you, and you go, oh, we've been absolutely robbed. The EFL needs to sort everything. But it's just one of them, unfortunately for Middlesbrough. And sadly for them, it looks like it's kind of derailed their season a little bit.
I mean, the thing is, it's. I think they got helped a bit. Barnsley getting held to a 0-0 draw against Derby, it sort of put. But then you look at some of the teams.
Now,
but then you look, you got Bournemouth as well above them. Bournemouth are probably a better team with the manager. Definitely not a better manager, but big points for Swansea as well because recently they've not been playing the way that they have been throughout the season, and the thing is, it's going to catch up to them eventually if they don't start improving.
But enough about Swansea versus Middlesbrough. We're going to talk now about a team that not fresh out the Premier League, but they've been in there quite recently, and it's Huddersfield Town.
Yeah. I think the one thing I will mention about Huddersfield is, I know they weren't stellar last season, but I think one of the main things they have missed, and I think if you said it last season, I think especially the way that he's come into the Arsenal squad, this is Emile Smith-Rowe, when I watched him last season, you could see a massive improvement, and he did genuinely play well. Driving forward, creating chances, chipped in with a couple of goals.
And lost Carlin Grant as well.
Yeah, and obviously really hit him this season. They're going to bounce back against QPR this weekend. I've got a feeling because I have backed QPR. But no, disappointing to say the least. And I think it was this season that Danny Cowley left, wasn't it? Earlier in the season, was it?
No. They sacked him after. They sacked him at the end, just at the end of last season. They got.
Oh, it's merged.
They got the lad from Leeds in. Carlos Corberan.
Oh yeah.
Bielsa's assistant.
But the whole Danny, I think if they'd have kept on to Danny Cowley, they wouldn't be in this position right now, because I think whether you like him, dislike him, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I think he's a great manager.
Yeah.
And disappointing how he left them.
And then they're tied on 38 points with us. 6 points.
I forget how bad they've been.
6 points ahead of Rotherham.
Who've got 22nd.
Who've got 3 games in hand.
Yeah.
We've got Huddersfield penultimate game of the season. That could be massive.
Where at?
Huddersfield.
Oh yeah. And do you know what? If God, I wouldn't want to watch that with you. So.
So speaking about Rotherham, by the way, our game against Rotherham is actually called off this week.
Has it been called off?
Yeah, they've got COVID central at their training ground apparently. So that's going to be obviously we're not playing.
It's like 4 games.
That's going to be 4 games in hand. They have on Birmingham and Huddersfield and Derby. Is that an advantage? But don't forget, they're going to get into the end of the season. They're playing Saturday, Tuesday every week until the end of the season.
They're going to have to play 3
games a week. They're going to be shot to bits.
I think the thing is, there's people that have been saying, it's dodgy. They're doing it on purpose. I don't know. Personally, I don't see how they'd want. I'd rather.
They haven't even got a big squad right as well. Look.
Exactly. And they've got Michael Smith missing the next game, who's I believe their top goal scorer.
Yeah.
I think he was straight red as well. That's obviously going to be a big miss for him. I don't think they'd want the game in hand. What team wants to play 3 games in a week?
They've got there's all sorts of conspiracy theories.
They're always going.
But I genuinely think that they wouldn't want these games because, like I said, they're playing Tuesday, Saturday every week. There is no space to fit them in.
And the
EFL have said they're not going to extend the season for it.
Yeah, and who is it to play? Brentford's one.
Brentford, Middlesbrough, us.
So they're not easy
Birmingham.
games. Yeah.
So they're going to
2
Barnsley. Yeah. They've got games. They've got games against teams that are chasing something. They've got games against teams around them.
They're all teams that have got something to play for, and by the end of the season, probably got even more to play for. Really, the game against you and Birmingham, they're 2 that are probably going to be 6 point. Well, if things stay the way they are, going to be 6 pointers. So.
Yeah, and I won't look forward to that. Right. So, and then we got any other questions?
Yeah, we'll just quickly nip through these. Alex, do you back yourself on FIFA?
Not really.
Someone's put right. I tell you what, some of them. So we got thoughts on the Rico. We discussed that last week. What stadium has the best and worst pies?
They're asking all the Q&A questions.
These have been asked. Is Reece Murphy the best striker in non-league?
He plays for Yeovil.
I'm going to agree with you. Yeah, he is. Who's going to win the Darts Premier League? What? Nothing but football.
Who's going to win Darts Premier League? You're going to be boring and say... You can't say... Should we just ban saying Price or Van Gerwen?
Yeah. I haven't been watching it, so I'm...
Well, it's not started yet.
Well, there you go. I haven't been up to me dart. I'm a bit of a fake fan. I watch in December and that's it. I'm going to say... Do you know, it's Duzzer, isn't it?
Duzzer is in it.
There you go. That's my winner.
Title.
There's my winner.
Duzzer. I'll go Gerwin Price. I think he's going to be on a bounce after the Worlds. But I tell you what, it's a robbery that James Wade's not in it. Absolute disgrace. Right. We got any others?
You'd have to say James Wade and Adrian Lewis. That's who they've gone for.
Adrian Lewis isn't in it.
Well, there you go. Clueless.
And then you'd have to say James Wade on the right. Apparently, I look like James Wade.
Oh yeah.
Right. So
we'll move on to
EFL Trophy finals. So we're in the weird situation of they're playing last season's final this weekend.
Yeah.
So whoever wins that is going to have the trophy for all but 24 hours. And they're going to have to hand it back to Sunderland or Tranmere on the Sunday. But do you know what? Portsmouth-Salford, last year's final, I think Salford will win this.
Yeah, well...
I hope they don't, because I can't stand the whole Salford project.
I'm not.
I think they will.
I'm with you. I don't like Salford. There's reasons behind it. But, Portsmouth, dire form.
And Jack's still watching, by the way. He picked Portsmouth for his Aka last week and they were 4-0 down at half time.
Oh, God, yeah. And the thing is, I mean, Kenny Jackett's, I mean, the rumours I've seen on Twitter, they want him gone again. I mean, it happens every season, doesn't it? And I think I'm with you. I think I can see Salford winning.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, I back Salford a lot of it, and they are probably, let's be honest, they're going to get promoted in the next 3 years with the money that's being thrown at them, and I think this is probably, they're going to want it. You know, they've spent all this money, a bit of silverware to show for it, and for that level, it's a massive game for a minute. You know, getting to Wembley. I mean, you've experienced it for League 1 and 2 clubs. It's probably their biggest chance other than the playoffs
season.
Yeah, and you know, it could even be Salford's second. Well, they could have another trip. You know, I think they're in the playoffs. I'm sticking with you. I'm gonna say Salford to win.
Sunderland Tranmere. You know, Sunderland haven't got the best record at Wembley.
No.
Tranmere have beat some good teams along the way.
Well, Oxford and Peterborough, I think the semis and the quarters.
But I don't see Sunderland not winning this, unfortunately.
Not the season that Charlie White's having.
No. I think
Tranmere are missing a couple of big players. I think Manny Monfey's out injured at the minute. Big name. But no, I do think that Sunderland, you know, they're too much, and the form they're in at the minute. You know, the start of the season,
unfortunately, I take little to no pleasure in saying this, but I think Sunderland are a championship team in waiting. I really do. I think they're going to get second spot in the automatics, and I think this is going to be an opportunity for them to lay down a bit of a marker.
Yeah, and do you know what? I'd love to see Sunderland back in the top flight. Personally, I know you don't, but I don't know. I love the rivalry Newcastle, and I don't know. That just personally, but no, I do think they're going to win it. We've gone with Fleetwood Town this week.
Alex, Portsmouth let me down. We've gone with Fleetwood Town this week. Thoughts? He's backed them against Neil Critchley's Blackpool.
Oh, not
Neil Critchley's Blackpool, who are on good form.
Yeah.
So I think you've dropped a bit of a clanger there, Jack. I can't see Fleetwood beating Blackpool away.
So my mum's gone with, what's your thoughts on Chris Barber making pipe bombs?
I don't get it.
There's someone from back home, Chris Barber, he's an absolute nutjob. I don't know.
Oh, if this is an ongoing criminal investigation, we can't really talk about this.
I didn't know that he was making pipe bombs, but if he is,
that's not.
I hope he's barred from the Crown still, and I won't be going anywhere near him.
Right, we're going to dip into. We've only got 8 minutes left, so let's hurry up. Right. Hull.
I mean, there's not much to say really.
Top of the league, brilliant form. It's fair play to him for sticking with Grant McCann as well as after they got relegated last season.
Paid off.
The only thing is about Hull, you know, Peterborough,
games in hand,
Lincoln, Sunderland. Doncaster have got 4 games in hand on Hull.
Yeah, but the thing is, Donny hit a bit of a patch of form.
I think all Hull have got to do is just keep on winning and
if Mike Wilkes keeps scoring, they'll be safe. They'll be up.
Right. Swindon Town, they are having an absolute stinker at the minute.
Smith, the loss of Matt Smith, I'll tell you, that's what it is.
That is a football club that is in absolute dire straits. Look, they're probably going to get relegated. They lost their big derby to Oxford in the week. You know,
but Oxford are having a decent season.
I read that they've actually banned the local media from going to press conferences. God. It's all a bit of a shambles at Swindon at the minute. You'd probably want to go and read up on that. And the fans are less than happy with John Sheridan as manager. And for me, I've never really, you know, he's always been a bit of a journeyman manager in League 1 too. Though I've never got the clamour for John Sheridan.
Yeah,
he seems to walk out on every job that he ever gets, and he never really does anything.
No, I mean the thing is as well, they need a win.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, they're not really putting the win in Swindon at the minute, are they?
No. Oh, that is terrible.
I've been waiting for that one, but no, poor season, and like you say. To be honest with you, the relegation battle in League 1 is something to look out for. I mean, Burton on an absolute madness getting out of there.
You kind of adopted Burton as your League 1 and League 2 team, haven't you?
Do you know what? It all goes from the time I watched them against Birmingham in the Championship, and I've always found them decent. I mean, Jake backs them on the accurate every single week, and he's not a betting man, but it's coming every week. And fair play to Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. And hopefully next season, if he carries on the way they're going, gets a few signings in, who knows, he might be back into the promised land.
onto another team that are having a poor season in League Two, Grimsby Town. That is a football club that is, again, like Swindon, on its backside.
Yeah.
It's a club that you probably know quite well, I'd imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had the pleasure of going to Blundell Park a few times. Thankfully, a couple of them with work, because if anyone's ever been there, you'll know it is, and I think we talk about it in the Q&A, not the nicest ground, and especially not on a December evening. But no, I mean, the thing is with Grimsby, you know, they've I don't know what it is with them. They just they seem to, I don't know. They just seem to lack. I mean, James Hansen's still up top for me. I mean, I don't know.
It seemed to me that they had Ian Holloway at the start of the season.
I think personally, I think Ian Holloway should never have got the job. No. I think he's one of them. I think, you know, the job.
I mean, look, I'm not looking at the squad here. Look at the size of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just look there. A couple of them, they were youth when I watched them.
Players like Giles Coke.
But yeah, the thing
Sean
is, with
Scannell,
Giles Coke's been around
Matt
for ages.
Green.
It's his injury. They're past it though.
They're just exactly. Ian Holloway's brought in all these,
and I bet they're on high wages.
Yeah, all these overpaid, like you say, has-beens. And surprise, surprise, they're not performing. And Grimsby find themselves marooned, but to the bottom of the table, and they're going to go back to non-league. And I think Ian Holloway's probably got a lot to answer for here.
Oh yeah, but like I say, I mean, Matt Green hasn't really, for the last probably 2 years now, he's been past it. I mean, James Hansen, I mean, what has he really done since
playing for Bradford?
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking Elliot Hewitt as well. I mean, I've never rated him when he was at County. I was never a fan of him, and probably, like I say, going to go. But the thing is, it's one. I mean, you say about every club, if they go down. They
weren't big for when they were down there for about 8 years. But
I personally think that they will come back up in a couple of years if they go down.
It does.
But I mean, last season didn't they make a playoff push? I don't think they got in there. They just off them. And they had a push at the end of the season.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems a club that's a bit of a mess at the minute.
Yeah. I mean, I think they conceded last minute to Crawley. Was it
Carlisle?
That was it. 93rd minute. That's absolutely crushing for him, especially Carlisle's form recently, and I think that's probably sums up their season really.
Right, quickly, just before we wrap up,
we'll just quickly. Which manager in the EFL would be the best at fighting?
Oh, Nigel Pearson.
I reckon. I wouldn't want to mess with Steve Bruce after a few years.
Steve Bruce.
I reckon.
He's not in the EFL. He's in the Premier League.
Oh, is it EFL? Oh, EFL. Yeah, good question.
Nigel Pearson. I think it'd be a bit of a difficult character. Steve Evans. Oh my God.
Steve Evans. I mean, we've heard the stories about him.
Darren Moore. He's a big bloke.
No, I don't know. I think Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. I reckon he's
I reckon
he knows Taekwondo or something.
Darren Moore's a bit of a gentle giant though, isn't he? I don't too nice of a bloke.
Probably Neil Warnock back in the day. You won't want to mess with him.
Yeah, he's a bit.
About 20 years ago.
What a good question.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to fight Nigel Pearson.
I tell you, bloody Daniel Fark.
Daniel Fark.
I reckon he knows. Look at him. He knows some dodgy tricks.
Nah. I'd have him.
You reckon?
Yeah.
He looks like the Undertaker.
Nah. Nigel Pearson. I think
that's a good choice.
I think he kicked me.
I think Steve Evans.
Yeah, Steve Evans as well. He just shouted. Right. Quickly before we wrap up.
We ain't got long, and I need the toilet.
Rangers finally confirmed their title.
Yeah.
Full credit, Steven Gerrard. What a job he's done this season.
I think the thing is, it was just a matter of when. Probably disappointing for them. You know, it could have been happening at Celtic Park, and let's be honest, they're not going to get a guard of honour from Celtic. Zero chance of that.
I mean, I think Rangers refused to give Celtic one the other year.
And I think was it Hibs or something the other year. Yeah, and so I don't think it'll happen. They've got the option to refuse it, and they will. But
do you know what though? You got to give credit. Rangers. This has been coming for me.
Yeah, and they built up. I mean,
and they've blooded in this style in Europe, which was a bold move from Steven Gerrard. And it's finally paying off. And do you know what? It is no surprise that the first season Rangers are any good that Celtic have just.
I think the thing is
any good in the league, may I say?
I think it's harsh to say it's been Celtic dropping off because. Yeah, they have been poor, but I think you just got to put credit because Rangers have played every single. I mean, what they conceded 5, something 6, something stupid like that. So absolutely brilliant for him. focus on, well, staying unbeaten in the league.
And Europe.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I won't, like I said the other week, I won't fancy playing against them because, personally, the way they play at the minute, I think they'd pick us off. But I think...
That is everything.
Yeah, I mean, perfect timing. We had to rush the ending. And we've got one last question.
One last question.
Oh.
Have we?
Yeah, fun fact, John Sheridan's son, Jake, scored the winner for Tamworth in a 2-1 home win against Forest Green to keep Tamworth in the conference on the final game of the season 2011. Great fact to end the show on, really.
Oh, there we go. Well done, Jake Sheridan.
I'm glad that I can spend my Friday night, I'm just going to celebrate it, you know, tonight with a few beers. But now, brilliant, and I think this is the most watched week we've had.
Most comments.
Yeah,
we love engaging with...
And I love having the daft questions.
Yeah.
But now, some really good questions in there as well. So thank you for watching, and
see you next week. Normal time, normal place.
And maybe some massive news next Friday, so don't miss it.
Yeah, big.
You want to be there, and keep an eye out. I mean, if you haven't watched Rob Jones' interview already, go watch it. And the Q&A is coming out next week.
It's a bit wacky. It's
a bit wacky.
It is a little bit.
No, it is good. We're biased, but hopefully you enjoy it. Something a little different to what we usually do, and we'll stop talking.
Cheers, lads. See you in a bit, Jack. Back the boost. Back the boost. See you in a bit.
This is the awkward bit.